I'm sitting on Knoll Hill, which is about a mile or so from the campsite. It's a Saturday, and it was kind of weird because I was trying to scope out the walk that I'm planning to do tomorrow. On the Ridgeway. Knoll Hill is sort of part of the Ridgeway walk. I think some of the path is actually more ridgy, but this bit is definitely Ridgeway. I can see both sides. I can see the pool, and I can see towards Kimmeridge, and probably some of the places I've been walking along the coast. And actually Corfe is fairly well hidden. I can't see the castle from here at all, like the hills behind. But I think I can see there's a church in the distance, and I think that might be Kingston Church. It looks about right and looks similar to church I went past on the bus, and also went past. I don't think that's the one I walked past, but there's a couple in Kingston. But yeah, just thinking about tomorrow. I'm actually thinking of doing the first time ever doing a walk, just not taking art materials. I'm thinking of, it all depends partly on whether these fixes to the airbed work. Because as I was doing today, I went into Swanage, and it's swelteringly hot in Swanage, and also packed full of people. Had a bag of chips, and for most of the time was searching for stuff. Matches, because I forgot to say one of the other many things that went wrong this morning is that the lighters were in a bag which was damp or wet, and they all wouldn't fuse the light. I did manage to get a spark, but it's a bit scary actually. It's a bit of a survival tip. If you run out of fuel, the flint on a lighter will still spark enough to light your gas, but it is a bit like jump back. Especially as like my rather rorty high speed. I've got this. There is a point of where like saving grams and saving, going in quotes ultralight. Although I can't go ultralight because of various things, from medications to artwork stuff. But the ultralight stuff is I'm moving towards to try and lighten the load for the artwork stuff, which is, not necessarily working. It doesn't seem to get much. It probably is getting lighter. It doesn't feel like it. But I went for the MSR Pocket Rocket because it's like on a deal, and the other alternatives are a lot more. I wish I'd gone for the other alternatives because it's brilliant. It's obviously designed for people who just want to go, and heat up water in a minute or 30 seconds. It's really it's really loud. Camp stove, and it's very light, amazingly light thing, very well built, but it doesn't do simmering, as I found. Both my pans have now burned to the bottom. Some of the risotto welded itself because it's just very hard to get a very low. It just doesn't do simmering. It's also, its heat's very localized. It doesn't sort of, other stoves like my old one, or some of the more expensive ones that I like, but also, I think was it the Soto Windmaster and the deluxe version of the one I've got. They could simmer, have a regulator inside there, so you always get the same pressure, and also they have a bigger head, and so you can spread the heat out. I tried doing bacon like that, and I'm surprised I've not been ill from that. But it was cooked, but you just couldn't get a sort of a, it cooked, but it tried to weld itself into that very spot I'm referring to where all the heat is, even when you turn it down really low. So I've got some scrubbers today. A bit of a scrubbing job with those pans. I've got a feeling I have to do that when I get home and do a bit of sanding or something. So I've got some matches, and I got some duct tape or Gorilla Tape, and I got some extra patches. I went to the specialist shop. They didn't have anything. There's one outdoorsy shop in this whole area, which is in Swanage. Otherwise I would have gone anywhere else than Swanage. Hence I'm probably going to title this Stuck in Swanage, because that's what it's been like today. And it's been a wonderful day, but it's incredibly hot. It's lovely up here on the ridge, which is one of the reasons why I'm up here. Getting a wonderful breeze. So if I'd been on the coast and on the as planned, if I'd been on the cliffs, I probably would have been alright. There would have been some hot making moments, but there would have been some lovely breezes. Whereas stuck in the campsite and stuck in the trying to fix the airbed and then stuck in Swanage, it's just been like swelter. There's loads of people. I had an ice lolly in the campsite and lots of water, and tried to cool myself down just from the walk back from from Corfe. And there's loads of people just sprawled out at the campsite. It was a cute guy, actually, had his top off. But it's all just, everyone's just like, oh. And that's how I feel at the moment. I'm feeling better with a bit of a breeze. I'm wondering whether to try and do an artwork of the hills. I might do that. There was a spot earlier on that looks so lemon jelly. It's so like the lemon jelly art, cover of Fred Deacon's sort of lemon jelly work. Even down to the little cows. Coos. But yes, so I'm thinking of just, if I can take my little pack, there's this weird detachable little pack which I've been using today, which is the top of the rucksack. It's completely useless apart from why I did use it for today, just to take a little bit of water and some sun cream and a few other things, and put the things I bought in. It's actually quite useless as a day pack. It's too tiny. It's too small. You can't get a small bottle of water in there. I'm not sure if my big bottle could get in there, and I'm not sure I could get all the stuff I need to get in there. But yeah, it was like water, food, lunch, and that's probably it. And sort of emergency stuff, first aid stuff, Vaseline, not for that reason. Sweat rash, which is what I've been getting, that sort of thing. But nothing. Yeah, I think it's weird because I took out half the paper, one of the pads, the pencil case. Only took the pens I'd want to take put them into a little bag. I was like, oh, this must be lighter. No. I mean, there is a bit of weight from the backpack itself, but I've lifted the backpack on its own when it's not got anything in it, and it's not that heavy. I think it might be better. The ultralight backpacks are like 0.8. If you were going ultralight, it's like 0.7, 0.8, 0.9. They don't go above a kilogram. I think that's probably about 2 or 1 point something. So yes, the pack itself has got some weight to it, unfortunately, but I decided not to take my. I did intend to take. I've got sort of a wet bag, a sort of a dry bag, one of those kind of ones you'd have on a kayak or something like that. And then it's got straps on it, so I got that specifically for that. So it's I'll take it as a dry bag and put all the sort of stuff in it that needs to be kept dry, and also, but it's kind of like that, quite heavy, a bit like those bags. You can get two types of those. You can get like the silicone nylon ones, which are thin. I'm not sure how waterproof those are, but or you can get the really thick rubberized ones, and it's the latter, and so it's a bit heavy, and not massively heavy, but with all the stuff that I had to take, I decided to take it out. Left it in. So anyway, evening. So yes. So yeah, I'm sitting on this very strange. It seems to be some kind of person's memorial. It's not supposed to be a bench, but it's the only thing up here, and it's got little signs to various locations. So it's like a viewpoint thing, but it's the closest thing to adventure. And so, yes, I'm thinking tomorrow, if I can just not take any art gear and won't be doing any artwork, that it'll just be the getting that walk done. And then in future, if I see anything and go, oh, I really want to paint that, it's just a fucking pain, that bit. It's just from Moot Bay. It's so remote, that part, and the rest of it isn't that remote, but it's remote because it's in the middle of an MOD range. From Lulworth to Kimmeridge, it's all. I didn't realise it was all. I knew Tynemouth was, and I knew Lulworth was. It's all ranges, and I painted the edges of those ranges in Jaunt 1. You can see that on the website, tjbaker.co.uk. So I walked around there and through some of those ranges. Obviously not when they're firing, but they call off the firing during the summer holidays, and then they reinstate it when kiddies are going back to school. But that was exactly why I was out this time of year, was to avoid all the kiddies. But it hasn't totally worked like that, because there's a load of kids on the campsite. I'm sure they're probably doing a last minute thing until they have to go back to school. But so they're firing next week. So I want to get the walk done, so I can say I've done Kimmeridge to, and the way I get there, because there's no bus to Kim. The thing is, there's no bus to Kimmeridge. There's no public transport anywhere near there. I didn't realise where I am is about 2.5 to 3 miles from Kimmeridge. So what I'm going to do tomorrow, it really depends on how much sleep I get and how it goes with the airbed tonight. Because about 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 is when I can test it, and that'll be the crunch point. At that point, I'll kind of have to keep away from it, not keep away from the tent. I keep moving outside, but I would have left it outside. But there was supposed to be rain at 3 o'clock, and of course, this area being its own little pocket of weather, there was no rain at all. But otherwise I would have left it outside to dry when I went out. So it depends partly on that. If it's still like it was last night, there's a very high likelihood I'm just going to go home. But I don't really want to be defeated by this. I don't know if they're firing the week after. I have to check that. I only saw next week. I suspect they probably are. So, because even the coast route gets closed when they're firing. So, the sign's up, let's say, and you don't know until you get there, and if it's closed, it's closed. You can't get through it. So we shall see. It'd be nice to do it, but that was one of the things I really wanted to do on this trip. That was the main thing. And the other thing was to continue from Beer and Seaton area down into Devon, towards Sidmouth and Exmouth. That's the other part. If I had a working airbed, I could just say, oh, fuck this, and I'll come back another time to do this bit. But if I have to abandon it, I'm half tempted to pay for the tent to be there for the up to the evening, do the walk, come back, and leave. And just go. Because the buses run fairly late to Wareham and Poole. I'd have to check the times for the trains. I think they certainly run in the evening. I think the last Weymouth train, I've been caught out on that one before, but the last Weymouth train is 7 or 8 o'clock, something like that, so it might be a bit later, but it's Sunday, it might be a bit shit. But, if I can, that's what I'll do, get out early. Just go when it's cool, get as far as I can, get to the coast before it gets really hot like it was at lunchtime, so I'm not sort of being boiled and then do the walk up to Moot Bay, or as far as I can get. But if I can't, bail via Tyneham, back and walk back. But actually, I'll be at Tyneham actually. But yeah, that's the thing, is I'd think about which way to go. But I'll probably head up to Moot because that's the hardest bit to connect to, and then even double back if I can't go inland. There does seem to be paths inland at various points, but they're going through the range, so there's loads of paths through the range. But if the range is closed, you're a shit out of luck. So we shall see what happens tonight and tomorrow. I can't have another night like last night. Last night it was like a combination of the moon shouting at me, because the moon. I was thinking, I don't know if I mentioned this. It was like I thought I was cursing somebody in the campsite, leaving their lights on, and I looked. I was like, "That's a bit high, actually," and then realised it was the moon. So I got woken up by that, and also the bed deflating, and then and I couldn't get to sleep for hours, and then did get to sleep, and then there was another deflation, and I actually went back to sleep even when it deflated, and so it just meant I woke up and I was just ouch. So, and judging by my feet, I haven't really recovered it, because I haven't. If I had just been resting and lolling around the tent and on our airbeds, wasn't dysfunctional, and taking it really easy, that would probably been better than the stressy wandering around Swanage that I had to do, all the shopping I had to do. So yes, so we shall see if the trip continues tomorrow or not tonight. Anyway, speak to you soon.